Hello, Jem. Welcome.
What's good, man? Thanks for having me.
You know, I'm excited that you're here. You're very fun and interesting. Tell us what you do.
I appreciate
Show
that,
me
man.
what you got.
Yeah, what do I do? That's such a broad question. There's a lot that I do, but I feel like you were talking on a professional level. I am an artist, musician, producer, DJ. Anything music related in that
Nice.
realm falls right into my, epicenter of life.
I've talked to you about music before. It's been engaging and fun conversations. NGL.
I hope so, man. Thank you.
Yeah, we just went to the record store here locally, and you're dropping some knowledge about what the meters or something. Like you know stuff, which is something I like. You know, when a person who calls himself a musician is able to like interact with other fellow musicians or people for that matter about the subject of music and have an enlightening perspective or something interesting to say.
I try, bro. It's one
That's
of those,
what makes you
Hey,
a
I
good
appreciate
a
that,
good
man.
mwah.
Thank you. May I say, dude, your speaking voice is just over the charts right now. I'm loving it. It's just velvet to my ears. I'm melting in your hands as you speak. So keep saying those sweet nothings to me. But yeah, man, honestly, it's one of those things where I just like knowing stuff because like social engagement just means so much to me. And like the more you know, the more you can engage with people because those little like deep cuts, not even necessarily of music, just of anything. Like you never know when that might come in handy one day. Like I don't know, man. I love that kind of shit.
Yeah,
you
it
know?
opens up more doors than it closes, I believe.
Definitely. Man.
And it shows that you're actually paying attention and, you know, kind of doing what you say you're doing, which I think that's good. Honesty is a good thing. Could you talk a little bit more into the mic? I just want to make sure we get good signal for both of us.
All right, no worries. I moved it like a centimeter closer.
You're perfect. Actually, you put it in front of your face. This is the best test of musician. All my other musician friends, they come in, they're like, "Can everybody hear me?"
Oh, they're talking out the side of their mouth.
I'm kidding. I joke. They think I turn the mics up really hot, but I kind of like having that perfect amount of gain to where you can ASMR.
Oh yes, real pops. The plosives and the
Plosives.
Oh yeah.
So, you're a producer of music. You write your own original music. This is what I assume that means.
This is what I do.
Nice. So what do you like to do? Like, are you sample based? Do you write your own original, like, or create your own original instruments, like sound design type of thing? Like, what's your game? What kind of games do you like to play when you're making music?
Yeah, so I mean, I'd say most of it's original. Every once in a while, like a great while, I'll find like a really solid sample that I like to run on. But yeah, a lot of it's originally based, and I don't know if I do like sound design because I'm always starting with like the presets, but I just tweak them a lot until I get them to where I really
That's
want
sound
them
design.
to. Yeah, it's just I feel like there's people that really take the deep dive into it and they
And make a kick.
yeah, and they're just like
Which is fun.
Exactly. Let's take the snare and just repeat that shit till we have the perfect synth in there. And I'm like, whoa. It's more work than I need to be doing, but I respect those kinds of people, So yeah, I do what I do.
That's nice. So like influences like musically, do you have like an amorphous cloud? Like I heard you talking a little bit early in the record store. It sounds like you like a lot of different stuff or just
I try to, man. Yeah. So I have a lot of influence from my parents' musical taste. So my dad.
I love to talk about that.
Yeah,
yes,
no.
my favorite thing. So formative for people, their parents' musical taste.
Yeah, generational impact has like played such a huge role in my life. Like my dad, he grew up listening to like a lot of soul, funk, psychedelic.
James Brown.
Yeah, exactly. And like
Parliament.
he turned me on to Santana, big influence. I fucking love Santana.
Yeah.
And because of Santana,
Woodstock, Santana.
Oh, dude.
Dude, that video.
You thought he was playing a snake?
Ooh.
Incredible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Santana. It's weird. He's into like a lot of weird niche gospel stuff from that era.
Interesting.
But yeah, it's super cool because those like anytime you hear any kind of gospel act, those musicians are on like a whole nother level as far as like being tight. And like especially in the 70s.
Comes from playing every week.
Exactly. And like
all the time.
But the thing is, like, I've played in a church band and they were like more like a white church. We weren't nearly on their level, man.
It's a different thing.
Gospel musicians are god tier artists, man.
There is a difference between gospel and other church music because a lot of the times in church music they have this idea that the music needs to be like secondary to God, or the worship, which conceptually I understand, but I think it leads to mediocre music.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
You know, and I think if you really wanted to praise God, you'd probably do it more in a gospel sense, and you try to elevate your art form.
This is why I love you, bro. You're
but it's
kind of
cool.
Yeah.
I understand like restraint, like that's a part of music, like having restraint, knowing when to play, when not to play. I think that could be taken to an extreme, though.
Yeah,
and
no, definitely, man. Like it's weird because I used to play drums, and like that's like a big thing. I feel like as a drummer and a lot of other drummers, a lot of them don't know restraint. But like as I switched over to other instruments,
dynamics,
exactly. So
loud
I played,
and soft.
I played keys. I did other percussion stuff, and yeah, man, that shit's so important, man. I had to learn that once I switched over to other instruments. But I totally agree with you. I feel like if you're honoring our creator, you got to play with your best. But I totally agree with where you come from, man.
So you're a multi-instrumentalist, it sounds like. You don't just do one thing.
It's mostly keys and drums. I used to mess around on the sax when I was younger. I want to get back into it, but it's just...
I got a sax here.
Oh, man, I might.
We could just whip it out.
Oh, dude.
I think we're going to have to.
We might have to, yeah.
Yeah. New reeds and everything.
But yeah, man.
Sax when you were younger, like in school?
Yeah, like 5th grade. That's probably the last time I touched it. But I'm like one of those musicians where like once I figure out like how to play scales, I'm pretty good with like figuring out what sounds right, you know? I can figure out by ear.
Yeah. No, that's super fucking cool.
But I want everyone out there to know I am in no means like one of those professional guys. I did go to music school, but for whatever reason my brain cannot retain a lot of that info. I'm terrible at like I can't solo. Like I have to really practice my solos over and over again to like burn it into memory. I'm not one. I'm like, yeah, I know what key this is in. Let me just beep it. No. I need to sit down with it. But I feel like that's just my style in general.
That's all right.
Things, yeah.
You know, everybody has their different process, and as a musician, I think like there's validity across all like approaches. Like you don't have to be a classical musician in order to make music that's worth respecting. Like there's a lot of electronic music that I think is pushing the art form of music and like introducing new ideas and things, and it's really cool. So I wouldn't talk down on yourself like that. You know?
Oh yeah, no. It's weird because I always feel like it's a weird subconscious thing.
Music school is a weird thing. Like
yeah, exactly.
I got my degree. I don't know like exactly what advantage it gives me. Like realistic advantage, like sure, like I have more like theoretical knowledge and I'm able to maybe apply more of that, but interacting with musicians is not exercising your command over theoretical knowledge. It's like literal communication,
exactly,
you know?
Man.
Like, and there's a time and place for that like level of rigor. You know, you could get some pretty cool shit done, but I think that more of the time that approach kind of like bulldozes any creativity that people have, you know? It's like I saw so many people in music school that were like talented individuals, like not even talented, like they did work hard and they were good at certain things, but those aspects of their creativity or musicianship were not like bolstered, like they weren't fucking like pushed to do what they were good at.
Oh dude, precisely.
You know, it was like, why don't you try this instead? Like, you know, why would you make Jem over here do a solo when he's an amazing like fucking DJ and creator? Like he can, you know, there's like different skills, like they apply differently, and that's kind of like something I want to maybe talk about with you here. Like I really respect DJing as like an instrument. Like, what do you think about that? Do you think when you DJ, are you playing turntables, digital or whatever, you're playing an instrument?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's different styles and approaches to it. There's a way to just play it through, which there's
validity to that.
Yeah, in no way am I bashing those people. It's just
Deadmau5.
Yeah.
He's really good, but the way that the level of shit that he does, he has to press play. Like, there's no way that could happen. Like,
he's
always even talked about it.
Yeah,
anyway, sorry.
No, you're good, man. This is your show. You don't have to apologize. I'm here for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Takes a big drink of the microphone.
But yeah, man. There's a whole bunch of like aspects to the different like corners and niche skills that you require when you're a DJ. But yeah, if the way you use your turntables and the way you use your controller is totally up to you. I like to take people on a ride, so there's tons of other guys that do that. So yes, I try to use it as an instrument, and I try to take full advantage of all these amazing features that this thing offers me, you know?
Yeah, no, I really think you are. It's like impressive to watch somebody who's actually like doing the deed instead of talking about it, you know. I tend to do a lot of talking because like I like to explore things and, you know, listen, start conversations, but you're really doing it out there. So like when can we see you like at your next show? Like do we have any upcoming dates?
Yeah, I want to say it's the 15th or 16th. I'm pretty terrible at dates, but there's art collective out in the Santa Clarita Valley called Milk, MYLK,
Yeah. Ooh, cool.
ran by Mama Wolf, aka God the Mother. You can find her on Instagram.
Nice.
She is affiliated with this band called Amaro. Pretty incredible if you guys get the chance to check them out.
Amaro, check them out.
Amaro. Yeah, so I met her through a previous relationship, and she's been nothing but a great friend to me and a huge supporter of what I do. She's actually in my last video, and she's just been like, always been like, hey, dude, I have some slots open. Can you play? Sadly, prior to this, just because of life, I haven't been able to, but timing was perfect, so you can catch me playing at her event. I might be playing this one weekend thing, but it was one of those things where it was a friend saying like, hey, bro, would you want to? And they just never followed up, so... Yeah, man. As far as like other official events, just be sure to hit up all my socials at Jem.G the spaceman, and I'm sure to just
I'll put all that stuff below the video so that you guys can click on it. But you know, I want to give people a chance to like talk about what they're interested in, what they're doing, because you know it's like when I started this, I'm like nobody's gonna watch, nobody's gonna listen. I still don't care.
I love
it's
that.
very fun.
Yeah,
but there is somewhat of a following, like unique people watch it, like not bots. So like I hope that y'all check out Jem.G the spaceman, his music,
thank you.
and all that, because like this is what the Mr. Big Show's about. It's like our musical community, which I think super cool.
Where did the name Mr. Big Show come from? Because when I hear it, I think of Mr. Big
The
from
wrestling
Wayne's World.
Oh,
okay,
no,
wrestler,
Mr.
yeah.
Big from Wayne's
Yeah,
World.
and then the overly informative security guard. We're gonna go here and then circle around.
That's fucking
and make our way back
hilarious.
here, yeah.
Wayne's World, party time, excellent. I love that movie. Woo, woo, woo. Yes, I was definitely inspired by Wayne's World. That's not where Mr. Big came from. I've always had a really big head. My dad said that my head was this size when I was born. I don't think that's possible, but he's pretty adamant about that. And it's actually a name that my dad gave me. I think I might have said this on the show before, but before it was Mr. Because was the first word that I said. And it changed to Mr. Big, and that's just what people in this small town call me.
I love it.
It's like
dude.
a curse, a blessing and a curse.
No, I feel like that demands respect. You know, Mr. Big's in the house. Watch what you say.
It's kind of hilarious.
I love
like
it,
the effect.
That's fucking tight.
I'm just trying to embrace it, have fun, you know. But that's where it comes from. The Mr. Big Show. You know, I really did just want to talk to people who genuinely interest me about life. Like what they do, you know, like because everybody's doing something. Like I think a lot of people, when you don't get a platform, it's kind of like you feel like you're fighting against the wind or like pushing a ball uphill, you know.
Yeah.
And just the more coverage you get, the more you get out there, the more stuff you put out, you know, that represents you. I think is a good thing, like because. Not a quantity over quality, just like you're seen then, like you actually have an identity,
Totally,
like
man.
beyond, you know, your own little world, because
Yeah.
you know, especially with just how life is, people get lonely.
Oh, dude,
You
definitely.
know, people need to talk to each other.
Yeah,
and for more than 10 minutes.
Exactly. And
You
something
know?
like this, like you said, you know, it's reaching the right people, and I believe when anyone does something with sincerity in their heart, we're gonna get a little deep here, but I feel like when anyone is persistent and does something with like sincerity and love in their heart, like it reaches the right people. And like, dude, your audience is gonna blow up in no time. Like right now, it's reaching the right people, and you know, from what my experience, what I've seen, when it reaches the right people, those people talk about you. Those people share what you're showing them, you know? And someone out there needs to hear us right now. You may not be, you know, a regular listener of the Mr. Big Show. Someone's going to hear this shit and be like, dude, I needed to hear this episode because of you, man. So keep up the good fucking work.
Well, I appreciate that, you know, and it's like the feedback's always nice. Like I genuinely appreciate it. Like I want to keep doing this. Like it's a part of my musical journey, I think. Like I've always loved talking to people about music, talking to people about their lives. Like just this whole fucking experience fascinates me. It's like how did you and I come from like our separate little worlds and fucking just clash, you know, like and interact, and it was good enough to where I'm like, you know, I like you and obviously you like me, like that's more important almost. Like you're the one who made the fucking drive, so it's like I genuinely fucking am excited like when this shit sparks. So it's like what you know, we both work for events, festivals generally, and that's kind of how we came across each other. Like what was your experience like? How did you lead into that? Like how do you see that fits into your journey?
Yeah, so it's a lot of people that I've met along the way, including yourself. They're all veterans to this thing, you know. They've been doing this for years and years. And it's crazy because my first event that I'd ever worked with Insomniac, shout out to Pasquale and Company.
Pasquale and Company, shout out.
The first event I ever worked was literally right before it, you know, shit hit the fan with the pandemic. I had worked Countdown 2019, and my girlfriend, she has a history of working with them doing ground control, and she told me, and I had heard stories of like people that had worked with the company kind of climbed the ladder and eventually became artists on their lineups. And that's
like, happened more than once.
Yeah, no, it's happened. MC Dino, he's worked in the offices, and now he's like one of their big headliners for any kind of D&B shows. Crime Family, big hardstyle guy.
Yep, shout out to Crime Family. Yep,
he came from us. You know, he was one of the ground control headliners.
Worked with you, Ryan. Love it.
Legendary, Ryan.
Yeah,
I've heard great things about you, and you know.
Shout out JKL.
Oh, dude, from Space Yacht. Yeah, how could I forget? So, you know,
great guy. And it's not like you know, a fucking free pass, right? It's
exactly.
Like these are incredibly hardworking individuals, like yourself included.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. But like nonetheless, it was just, I believe that this company has given like so much to me in my life. Like I didn't know about raving prior to like me graduating from high school. Like I'd heard about it. I had seen Blade, you know, where they had the vampire rave. And
right,
like, that
the
looks
vampire
like
rave in Blade.
Yeah.
Classic. That's what some people ask me about. Like they're like, so do you is it like Blade, you know, like the fucking public perception of what raving is still so hilarious.
Yeah, I used to think it was like Blade or in the second Matrix when they have that cave party. I'm like, yeah, that's what a rave is. But yeah, once I graduated from high school, everything changed for me, man. I went to my first festival and I was like, this is where I need to be. So I want
yeah, man, you're on it.
I try, man. I try. But yeah, it wasn't until recently where I was like, you know what? This has given so much to my life. The least I can do is be a part of it and give back to it, you know? And like what we're doing with Headliner Experience over the pandemic, dude, I feel like we're giving people the best possible outcome of their lives in the worst time, you know? Because
that's why I went back to work.
Exactly. It's a beautiful thing, man. Like
you could have made fucking bank on unemployment, but instead, you know, you fucking went back to event. I mean, it's not that big of a decision, but like, it's like, of course I want to work, but at the same time, it's like, you know, I think that says something. Like it speaks to like your fucking participation, you know?
Definitely.
Like not everybody is really in it as much as they say they are, and they're not as dedicated. Like, and I think actions definitely speak louder than words. Like, you're fucking there, man. Like,
thank you, bro. I try.
I appreciate it. I mean, like, I'm nobody, you know, but it's
Shut
like,
your ass up, man. How dare you? You are Mr. Big.
Okay, I'm Mr. Big.
You're Mr.
But
Big,
you know, in the grand scheme of things, like, I just try to be another person with everybody else, and like we all, like the community gets lifted up, like together. It's not,
no, definitely, man.
It's not one winner takes all, or you know, just for me or just for you. Like, I really believe that Insomniac raving, all that stuff, like it's a almost essential part of like being a musician now. Like,
Oh, hands down, man.
I have a lot of friends who they haven't raved, and I've really wanted to show them like this experience, this wonderful world of festivals. Really, that's kind of what it is, you know.
Amen.
And I'm just so excited for what the future has to offer, like regardless of my level of participation in it. I think it's gonna be great. You know,
Oh,
like
definitely, man.
we're coming off this like massive health scare. Like let's call it what it is, and it's like now we just know what we got to do better, like, and we know how to like approach and attack things, I think, and succeed like on a larger scale, like as a country or as a state or whatever. Like I really do feel like more unified, like, and not just like
man.
lip service or whatever. It's like similar thing happened with 9/11. Like these massive tragedies, I think they end up bringing people together.
Definitely, dude.
In the
Shared
end.
trauma has caused like a weird bond, but it's,
Yeah, that's just
it's a weird thing, man. Yeah.
no, suffering is what unites us all. That's what the
Yeah.
Buddha said. Like, and it's, I mean, I'm gonna do a little bit more suffering right now.
Oh man.
Nobody likes Jaeger. I don't know what's wrong with them. It's like I love black licorice.
I'm not so. It's weird. I'm not against it. It's not my first choice, but I'm not a whiskey guy, and that's better than whiskey to me.
You know, I like liqueurs. I like something with flavor because it's like it elevates your drinking experience. Like every time I've gone to a bar and it's been a really good time, you know, I'm having some drinks with some friends, and the bartender's like, "Hey, I got you guys some free aperitifs, you know, like
Nice.
some liqueurs, you know," and it's like just the taste. It elevates the experience to such another level, and I mean, I'm talking about times where I haven't been hungover.
That's awesome.
But like when you have a real bartender who's like a mixologist, kind of like guiding your night through flavors and experience, it's really fun. And Jaeger's always been on the side of good for me. I've never like drank too much Jaeger,
Yeah.
and fucking it's come out the other end. But funnily enough, it does. If you drink enough, it'll make your shit stink like Jaeger.
Noted. I'll
No-
be sure to
no
keep
lie.
it under a quarter bottle.
Yeah, quarter bottle of this. Are you a psychonaut of sorts? Or
I like
are
to
you an
think so.
adventurer?
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Adventurer?
I'd say so.
Did that have any I don't want to like ruin your professional image or anything, but did that have any part in informing like your creativity or
Yeah, honestly, I just like to be as transparent as possible. Like, unless I do something really fucked up, which I haven't, and I try to shy away from, I think we're okay. But
yeah, you're okay.
yeah. So not until like within the past like 5 years, I want to say, have I started really diving into like psychedelics. And funny enough, my best friend, she's out in Louisiana right now farming. She's really into that, and she was telling me on our first mushroom experience, she was like, "I'm not pressuring you. I just think it's a good time. But if you want it to be something more, it can be." And I was like, I love that description. And you know what? I'm someone who has to try something at least once. And if this is something bad, then you know what? I'll probably never touch it again. But I always feel like I'm someone who's in charge mentally and spiritually. So if I see shit starting to go south, I think I could circle back around and like find that foundation of calm if I need to.
You're very in charge, honestly. Like, despite all my attempts to derail your train of thought, you're right on it.
I try.
You know, and it's fun because it's like, anyways, it's a feature of the Mr. Big Show. I try to fuck with my guests a little bit in a fun way, but you know, it adds to the conversation. A
Oh,
little
definitely,
bit.
man.
You know, like these small interruptions, they may seem tangential to us, but then it's like you go back or somebody will really say something about it. It's like, wow. It helps to like analyze, like if there's something interesting, like pick it out.
Yeah, you
and
need
talk
these
about
branching
it.
topics.
You can really hold on to your line though, your
Yeah.
thread. Like we're always
I try, man.
gonna be go on. I say it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it was me and my other friend Tabs, who is now an amazing mother out in North Carolina. I just got to mention her because
Blessed Mother.
they both play such a major role in my life at this time. Shout out to Tabs and the homies at the farm.
Hell
And
yeah.
we went to this big park. We took some mushrooms, and I just remember laying on the ground and waiting for them to sink in. And suddenly, I felt like this hugging feeling from like everything, from within, from without. And I was like, "Whoa! I feel so comforted right now. This is an amazing feeling. This isn't like any other high I felt. This is something that's like literally my soul needed, you know? And as I was experiencing more and more of this moment, I feel like more people need to try this, you know? And the first time around it was a little more trippy. Like I remember being connected to these trees that we were around, and I could like read people's minds, and it was cool. It was awesome. Like I wasn't having like a bad thing. Like I remember this dog was telling me, "I'm having a great time being a dog." Woof woof. I was like, "Whoa! Why can't everyone be like that?" You know?
That's what everybody wants.
Exactly.
I think they want to talk to dogs.
Exactly.
On mushrooms.
I mean, like he wasn't literally talking to me. I was like,
no, I get it telepathically. That's hilarious.
But, yeah, and then I could zoom in really far. I remember I could see like a mile away. That was pretty cool. Looking like Legolas out
People
there.
used to take mushrooms for hunting.
Makes sense.
They've ascertained that it would improve your visual acuity, and they would do it for the hunt.
That makes sense now.
They would go hunt a deer. I think there's some kind of ritual that's been preserved in South America or something where they would take the mushrooms and then go hunt a deer. The men of the tribe or whatever, like
yeah.
It was a thing, but kind of a cool analog. And also like
definitely.
mushrooms have been used in a oddly enough like a familial sense. Like in Oaxaca,
Dude, I love
people will
that.
take mushrooms together as a family and have a shared psychedelic experience, and it like increases the your ability to appreciate your family at least. Like, your familial bond can be stronger, I'm sure, because of that.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that because the second time around, so I was going through like this weird rough patch in my life where I just like left a really like toxic relationship, and I was on the fence of being in this band with my best friend at the time and pursuing DJing, and then on top of that my mom had a cancer scare, and yeah, it was all weighing on me, and it made me realize like I don't have the best relationship with my mom, and if I let this carry on, like this is gonna affect me forever and possibly my children's relationship with her. So Emily, my best friend, had returned again, and she pitched to me that we take a trip to Joshua Tree. And she's like, I think you need it. If you take some mushrooms, you might be able to clear your mind with it. I'm just suggesting it. And I was like, you know what? What's there to lose? I had a great time last time. Like, I just have a good time again, And if I have a bad trip, so be it. So we do this trip. And I remember going into the desert feeling like Moses, man, on these mushrooms. And I'm like,
with the tablets, the Ten Commandments.
I was walking barefoot in the sands, and I'm like, God, speak to me right now. Let me get this through. I want to work through this. I don't want to have these troubles with my mom anymore. She's the one who gave me life. I'm going to have a life with her for the rest of my life, regardless of what happens with this outcome. And like, I just want to fix this. And it was weird, dude. All the answers that I needed, like, dropped into my mind, and I was like, I need to have this hard conversation with her. I need to clear the air with her and let her know like why I feel this way. It's not going to be the easiest conversation, but after that my life will be improved. And it was like I got home, I had that talk with her, I cried my eyes out, and I was like, Mom, I love you. I just need to let you know that this is why I act the way I do. And she was like, you know what? It's because you're like me. And it was weird, man. Like we had this big crying thing, and I was like, fuck, man. More people need to do this.
Yeah, you actually had a
good.
connection.
Yeah, and like since then, dude, my relationship with my mom has been like loads better. She beat the scare. Like it was just like what do they call it?
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, no, I was so.
That's very scary. Yeah, it's not fun at all by any stretch of the imagination.
But yeah, man, like I recommend it to everyone because like I honestly don't think I would have been able to overcome that time of my life without that that unique trip. So I'm all about that. I support it. And then recently too, I don't know if you've seen this article that's circulating, but the magic mushroom, it originates from Mexico, from one specific lady. She is a curandera. She's a witch doctor, as they call them. They practice like in other forms of medicine and like magic essentially. But this region of Mexico, that's where like the magic mushroom comes from. She was the founder of it, and it wasn't until like people started visiting where they started taking it out of like the country.
We might be talking about the same person. Like,
yeah,
that was the one I watched. Hamilton Morris on Vice.
Oh yeah,
love that guy. Super cool. And he went down to Oaxaca to talk. I think he said he related that story. Viewers, search further. It's for you,
check
not
it out
for me,
yourselves, guys. Yeah,
not for me, for you. But yeah, it's I think it's really important because I mean, not to get like too heady or whatever, but like mushrooms chemically, the active compound is DMT plus 4 hydrogen and 1 oxygen. That's the molecule that causes you to have a psychedelic experience. And if you know anything about DMT or you've heard any research, it's something in our brain that allows us to perceive what consciousness is, or it provides our basically what we think reality is somewhat attributed to that chemical, which is endogenously produced. Like, it's made inside of our brain, and it's kind of like a feedback loop type of thing. And then when you take more, it induces a immersive experience.
Right
So
on, man.
I think mushrooms are what nature, the universe, has like made like just edible form. You pick it up off the ground and eat it,
Definitely, man.
and you can have that experience.
And
which
I've
is
always
very deep.
Yeah,
you
no,
know?
it was a beautiful thing, and I've had people always approach me and be like, "What if I'm not ready for it?" I'm like, "Well, look, I'm not gonna pressure you into it. If
Well, you need to know about
Yeah,
it if you're ready or not.
I recommend with anyone trying like a substance or anything, just for your well-being and safety, try to be in a good place mentally, because I don't want you like falling into that state where you start panicking and stuff. Because if you're cool, you can always pull yourself back. But I get it. Sometimes you're not feeling so 100, and you can easily fall into that. But I recommend that for everyone. Just be in your best state of mind, state of spirit, so you can pull yourself back if need be, and if not, just elevate yourself to the next level.
Yeah, I would even recommend, seek out like a professional setting or a somewhat medical setting. There's people who like to facilitate and provide these experiences, and can, you never have to go alone, and it's not meth, folks. No.
Exactly.
It's exactly the opposite of meth.
It's a beautiful thing. And I'm to this day, man, I'm so glad I found that thing. And I
Yeah, no, it's kind of coincidental sometimes how we come across these experiences, or so
Definitely.
it seems. Yeah, could you imagine if we saw the larger, like, music of life, like how all of our roles like intertwined and actually amounted to outcomes that affected each other?
It's so weird
if we were
man.
able to perceive any more than we could right now, I think we'd go crazy, honestly.
It's really weird you say that exact thing though, dude, because so this past weekend I had played a camping festival like we talked about earlier. And
So what was this camping festival? These viewers, they know nothing about it. Share with us your experience.
Yeah, so this
sure they'd
company
love to
called
hear.
the Lab Collab, they hosted this 2-day camping festival, which ended up being a 1-day festival due to technical difficulties with local law enforcement. But when I opened the show, it was cool. I played one of their side stages. After my set, I went and explored the grounds of this place. It was someone's ranch out in Temecula, very nice property. And I'm one where it's like, the highlight of any kind of event is the people. Like, music can be played anywhere. Music can be played well anywhere. But it's the people that it attracts. So I'm out in the audience at the main stage, and I'm literally just vibing. And I see this guy, this tall-looking white dude, keep looking back at me, and I'm like, maybe he's tripping, because sometimes I catch myself when I'm tripping, just eyeballing people like, hey, I like the way this guy looks. Oh, are you looking at me too? Yeah. Or maybe I think I know someone, So
Right.
I'm like, I'm not paying much mind to it. And he turns around and comes up to me like to ask me something. He's like, hey, man, are you Jem.G? I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, why? What's up? He's like JEM.G. That's you. I was like, yeah, why? He's like, dude, I've met you before. I was like, what the fuck? So I thought maybe I don't know, maybe he saw like my show or something, prior to that. And he's like, dude, no, I met you before at a rave. And I'm like, okay, well, which one was it? He was like, Nocturnal. I was like, I've never been to a Nocturnal, so you might be fucked up, bro. He's like, no, you were working the water station, man. You were talking to me. I was like, oh, you were at Countdown. He's like, that's the one, man. I'm like, oh, shit. He's like, yeah, man, you talked to me, and you told me I need to go balls to the wall 100% on this music thing, quit my job, and I need to dedicate my life to that. I was like, dude, nice. I mean, how's that going for you? He's like, I own the company that's hosting this event. I was like, what the fuck? Are
Nice.
you serious right now?
Hell yeah.
And he's like, yeah, man.
Manifestation.
And I was
That's
like-
that's true manifestation. Like,
Yeah, dude, it tripped me out because, like, don't get me wrong. What I do musically, that's a big part of what I do. But I feel like it's become almost like just a plus on, like, the grand scheme of things, because my MO, my mission statement in this life is to show others to start really believing themselves. Like, I feel like it's such an after school program thing that it's kind of got lost in everything. Believing in yourself, that's it. Almost sounds like a fake thing, but like when you're kids, there's a world of possibilities. You don't set those limits for yourself. You say, man, I want to be an astronaut. I want to be this amazing musician. I want to be famous for whatever reason.
You feel free to dream.
Yeah, and that's a possibility for you, But as you grow up, you experience life, you experience society, you experience the school system kind of breaking you down, telling you no.
Hardship, yeah.
And like they're telling you can't do that. These things are going to stop you along the way. Like, why would you pursue something like that? But it's weird. Only in recent years did I figure out all that shit doesn't matter. Regardless of your circumstances, you have it in you to literally do whatever it is you want. As long as it's not something fucked up, because then someone's going to stop you if it's fucked up. I'm just letting you know.
If nobody tells you no, then that's like the least... That's the most fucking boring life you could ask for. So, it's like if you just get everything handed to you, you get to do whatever you want. Imagine how much fun you'd have.
Exactly.
Like doing anything. Nothing would mean fucking shit to you.
Exactly.
Like, and then on the other hand, like if you're doing something shitty, like if you're like, I'm going to be a warlord, or like... I'm going to be a fucking dictator, like a political leader just to fuck up people's lives, or like I just want power.
Exactly.
It's like that doesn't amount to anything.
Precisely, man.
It's like you're fucking jerking yourself off. Yeah.
No, but it's just like I hear it a lot too as a musician. I'm sure you hear it too. People will be like, "Oh man, it must be so easy." It's not easy at all. You have to put in the work. But
it seems fun from the exterior.
Oh, exactly. They don't see the shit that goes on behind the scenes. But if you want to do something, you can do it. There's always going to be ways around the things that say you can't. Like,
yeah.
For me, obviously, like, money's going to be an issue right now, but I still have a job. And, there's going to be a time where music will pay for my lifestyle and vice versa. The money that I make will go back into my music. Right now, I got to do a job.
You'll probably fucking miss that money was an issue at some point.
Exactly.
As weird and fucked up as that is to say to people, it's like, oh, I could use this money to, like, help my family. What do you fucking know?
Oh,
but it's like,
yeah. No, I get that.
Unless you were struggling right now at this moment, I don't think that we would have the same appreciation.
Exactly,
honestly.
Man, yeah.
Like, honestly.
No, I totally get that. There's a weird creativity that comes out of the hardships that what we're going through. But anyone out there listening, I just want to let you know, if there's something that you've been, like, wanting to pursue and, like, people have been telling you otherwise, just do it. Like, bite the bullet.
Rewards are way greater.
Exactly.
Like honestly, like, that's why it seems easy, because you do get rewarded when you fucking follow your own dreams. And then people see that and they're like, oh, he's getting what he wants, or she's getting what she wants. Or the fucking, fur person's getting what they want.
Exactly,
no, I'm kidding. Everybody gets what they want, and then somebody's fucking mad at it because they're not doing what they were dreaming of.
And that's the thing, too.
Like, they've limited themselves, and now they have to fucking talk shit. Like, I love to talk shit, too.
Yeah.
But it's about people who don't do shit with their lives, and they're fucking pissed off about it.
And
it's the opposite for the other people.
Yeah.
They like to talk shit about people who are doing something with their life. It's fun for everybody. Come on, like.
The thing is, that's a human reaction, and I've been there too, where you're on the other side being like, why can't I do that? The thing is, you can. You have to stop allowing, like, the roadblocks that you're going to come in face with to be, like, the end all. Because I believe as long as you have breath in your lungs, man, you have the power to literally change your reality every day, man. And you know what? Maybe you don't have legs. I'm just putting this out there as, like, a general thing.
Yeah.
Because there's other ways to do things. If you don't have fucking legs, you could walk on your hands and shit, vice versa. My dad...
it's not about that. You
Yeah.
know, it's like you can make it fucking work. And if
Yeah.
you don't make it fucking work, it's, how much help do you need? Like, honestly, that's the only question that could be asked.
Yeah. Well, it's weird because this all stems from, like, this thing that happened, like, a few years ago. When I turned 21, my dad had a heart attack.
How old are you?
I'm 28.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I turned 21, my dad had a heart attack, and everyone was freaking out in my family. And like I said, I'm someone who's pretty, like, calm most of the time during, like, crisis situations. I knew he was gonna be all right, but my family does this thing where we talk shit to each other, and it's kind of like, it's a way that, like, we show each other we care, but to the outside, it seems like a fucked up thing. But it's just the way we communicate. So when I got to my dad in the hospital, he's always kind of, like, fat shamed me, not in a serious thing where it's fucked me up, but, like, he's like, hey, you need to lose some weight. That's how my dad talks. So I
Yeah.
tell him, like, when we get to the hospital, I'm like, hey, fat ass, look who had the heart attack. And he's just, you see him shaking his head.
Sorry, that's
Yeah.
so fucking funny.
No, yeah.
Like, really, though.
Exactly,
You gotta
yeah.
think about, like, he probably set it up like that for
Exactly.
you. You know, he's like, okay, watch.
Exactly. So everyone, like, the rest of my
I'm sorry, I
fam-
don't mean to laugh at
No,
that.
you should. Like, it's something you can laugh about. It's okay, man. I want you to laugh. So yeah, we're at the hospital. All my family's freaking out. Like, Mijo, why aren't you sad? I'm like, dude, I know this guy's gonna survive. I have to.
He's
bust his
right
balls.
here still.
Exactly.
Like,
He's
yeah.
gonna get through this. And my dad, he got super like deep with me. He talks in this really raspy voice where he laughs sometimes when he talks. He'll go mid sentence. It's weird. So he calls me Jizzle for Jem.G, but I don't think he realizes that it sounds like, jizz. But
It's a fun nickname.
Yeah.
Sure, Jizzle.
Jizzle, yeah, he calls me Jizzle, so he's just,
It's Snoop Dogg-esque.
exactly. So he pulls me close, Godfather style. He's like, Jizzle. I'm like, what's up, Dad? He's like, when I had the heart attack initially, I was having some scares, but I brought myself to, the calm again. I prayed over it, but I realized something. There's people that don't get past this. There's people that die when they have the first heart attack, but I didn't, so I have to really take advantage of the life that I have now. Like, I have to go full 100% on this. I have to fix my health. I have to do what I love. He does music too. He's a musician. He's a vocalist. He's a conguero. He plays congas.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking love congueros. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a beast, dude. So he was just, I'm going to get back into it. I'm going to get my band going. And, he's also a neuromuscular therapist. He's like, I'm going to get the practice.
Hey, hit me up. My buddy has a cumbia band.
Oh, dude,
I was
he's going
looking
to love
for
that
more,
shit.
but
Yeah. So he's just, I got to do this.
Shout out. Fuck. Okay. No.
It's all good. I'm sure you'll remember. But yeah, he was just, I got to do this, but I also want you to start living life, You shouldn't have to wait.
Camino Tropical.
Camino
Yeah.
Tropical.
There we go. Shout out. Fuck you, Greg. Anyway.
But yeah, man, he was just like, you can't let like crisis situations change your life, man. You gotta be doing this shit beforehand. I was like, you're right, man. Like, I shouldn't wait for something serious
That's
to
a
happen.
fucking great example.
Yeah, so I've kind of been living life to the max since then, man. And my dad has too. Like, dude, for him being like 50 something, he's fucking beast, man. Like,
Nice.
if I were to fight him, he'd probably kick my ass.
That's funny. So you feel pretty supported though.
Oh,
like,
definitely,
with what
dude,
you're
yeah.
doing.
I feel so blessed to come from like a family where they've always been supportive of what I do.
And
Only-
they love on you too.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think the only people that really don't understand it is my grandparents, but only because like they want me to be in like a safe financial situation, and I have to always like tell them like I'm taking this risk so I can eventually be there,
You just have to make some music that they enjoy.
Oh, definitely, man,
and
yeah.
then they'll be like, oh, he's fine.
Yeah.
It's always that. It's like, just do something I like. Play a song that I want to hear.
Yeah,
That's what I found with the old people and the music shit. It's like, just make something they like. They'll be happy,
Definitely, man. It was crazy because like I didn't know my grandma even pays attention to my music.
They always do. My grandma watches this podcast.
Dude, only like a few weeks ago, my grandma pulled me to the side after she made me breakfast, and she's like, "Mijo, I wanted to tell you, I saw your motion picture." I was like, "What the fuck is she talking about? She lost it?" She going, "See now, a motion picture." I'm like, "Grandma, what are you talking about?" She's like, the one where you're running from all the bad guys. I was like, "Oh, Grandma, you saw my music video?" She's like, "Yeah,
It's a
it was
motion
so
picture.
good."
It's like Thriller.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh man,
Hell yeah."
Honestly, like that was the highlight of 2020 for me, or 2021, excuse me. It's been a long time, but yeah, man, that made my entire year, man.
That's
I was so
super
happy.
cool though. Your grandma's into your stuff. Okay, so yeah, maybe reassess. Like they probably appreciate what you're doing.
Yeah,
I think
it
they're
just takes
proud of
some
you.
time.
It does, especially, and I mean, I could put myself in those shoes. It's like, of course you want your family to have stability. Like you said, you wanted to have kids. So like, what if your kids have kids?
Yeah.
Like, that's like a little bit far removed from what you can influence.
Yeah, exactly. Man.
So it's like you just hope at that point, and if it's, I can only imagine like my the fucking face, the Jägermeister face. I love it. No, I could just imagine like most of my grandparents have passed away. Like I still got my one grandma, and I love her to death. Like she's a little Costa Rican lady. She's like
it's precious, man.
4'10". Like the height difference is amazing. But yeah, it's like it's cool to have that connection like to the past generation and like see what their opinions are. Like I heard a bunch of classical music, and like my grandma would always come see it. Like, and I felt like that was like, okay, I'm like doing right, like, You know, because as a musician, you do get those questions. It's like, what are you fucking doing with your life? You're not working every day. It's like, well, but I am working every day, but it's not something that looks exactly like work to everybody. Exactly. You know, it's like if I'm sitting at the computer, that could look like anything to anybody. You know, even if I'm in a fucking like fully built out studio, it's like hilarious how many people are like, "Are you still fucking doing music?" It's like, every fucking day.
It's
like,
fun. Yeah, man.
Like, you know, like I mean, I'm sure after we fucking get done with this, we'll get down on something. Yeah, so man. It's like I see everything feed into each other, you know, like, and I try to look for the connections, and like I think that's why I'm so tangential, because I'm always like, oh, what does that remind me of, and how does it lead to the next thing, and how do we like continue? Because it's like if I'm not moving forward, like that feeling of just like hanging out, stasis, it's like it's not good. Like I feel like I should always be doing something because I have that energy, you know.
Right on, man.
But it's cool to see you like fucking just living it, you know, like fucking it makes me feel less alone. I'm sure it makes other musicians feel like less of a fucking like you know, to hear other people talk about their experience, because like this is what it is.
Yeah, man.
Like it's not we don't exist in a vacuum, you know? Like, if you were to never share your experience, like, with anybody, you know, I'm glad you're talking to me and, like, it's recorded and everything, but, like, if you were to just, like, I don't know how you are just in general, but, like, you seem pretty open. You know, I hope you're like this with everybody that you meet.
I try, man. I try.
You know? And I think that shines through. Fuck, man. I'm enjoying the fuck out of this.
Right on, bro. Me too.
Hell yeah. Let's see. What's your favorite color, bro?
It varied through the years, but it's weird. So I settled on hot pink by accident after like I was designing my logo, and they offered. I was using like this free website.
You have a sick ass fucking.
Thank you, man.
Hold on. I want to see. I think I slept over here. Jem.G the spaceman. Where are you hanging out? Where are you hanging out? You're hanging out.
I got a card if you
somewhere
need it.
No, I gotta fucking pull this up. I have my sticker collection over here. Here we go. I'm saving this slap.
Yeah, I got more in the.
I wanted to put it on my rail, but I'm like, nah, it won't fit on the rail. It needs to be somewhere cooler. Everybody, look at this fucking sticker.
Right on, man. Thank you.
Oh yeah, no, you got to support you. That was the thing that struck me. You're handing out art. Like, as soon as I met you.
Dude, funny enough,
fucking legit.
I got in trouble for that.
You did?
Yeah.
No! No! No!
No, it's...
God damn it, Pasquale! I'm coming for you. Oh, brother, you're going to really get it. Oh, little Italian stallion. Ha! Come right here. I'm going to fucking... Anyways, what happened?
No, yeah, so our...
No, what really fucking happened?
I'm letting you know. So, like, it was literally the last day of Park and Rave, and, like, our supervisor pulled us to the side, you know her, and she was just like, hey, dude, I'm not saying you're in trouble, like, you're cool. Look, thank God she's such an understanding and, like, cool person.
She is one of the coolest people that I know.
Yeah,
thank God. I think she just has to do these things because she's told.
Exactly. Anyone else would have bent me over and paddled me, man, so I was just, thank God it's her. But, yeah, she was just like, so... I know you've been handing out like your business cards and that's cool, but we got to understand like we're here to do like Insomniac stuff and like you don't want to step on any toes. I was like, oh shit. I didn't even think about that. I just do it to hand out like my phone number. And she's like, I know. Like, you know, but it's just, you got to be careful what you do. I was like, oh man, Matt, I'm so happy. Like you're the one talking to me. She's like, yeah, honestly, someone else would have like chewed into your ass. So I'm glad it's us. I'm like, thank God. And then I guess, I had met one of the artists that were performing, but like it was in passing, cause like you
knew that motherfucker.
I know.
Don't even lie. Yeah. You knew that motherfucker.
Her name's Kara, and I meet her, but I follow her career because she's a great vocal producer, dude. She's kind of a legend.
No, you told me you had an actual conversation with this person, like outside of work and everything, like not encroaching on anybody's business or whatever.
And the thing was, like, I tried to be like cool about it because I didn't want to like step on any toes because like I know we're there to work. But she initiated that, and then I guess like people were like, "That's not cool. You can't be fangirling." So I respect that, and like I figured there's a possibility of that happening, but. Like
The thing is, like, you know, and I mean, like, I want to keep my job and everything. I want to continue working there. You have to keep a certain level of, just like separation between the various like levels of hierarchy, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like my buddy was saying, like he played a festival with the Rolling Stones. Like he played on the same stage as the Rolling Stones, and he just wanted to watch side stage. And the fucking guy was like, "Hey, if you don't have Rolling Stones creds, you can't be here.
Yeah.
We're gonna get security." So it's like it doesn't fucking matter. Like production's production. Like when you're the fucking G, you're the fucking G, and you get all the nice treatment.
Yeah.
But like to get to that point, you do not that you have to. You shouldn't break any rules. I mean, but like there's a way to do it. I think you're doing it the right way.
Thanks, man. I
It's
appreciate
pretty.
that.
It seems pretty organic to me. Like I never been bothered to you, but like things do have to be said.
Yeah, no, I totally get it.
It's so fucking funny, like the way shit works. Like it's not like there's a facade or anything. It's just like
It's just business.
It's
Yeah.
literally just business.
Yeah, I
like,
was like it. So at first, because like she's such a good friend to us, I was like kind of butthurt about it, and then like I had to get
It
in my head.
sucks to have
Yeah,
your
no,
friends reprimand you.
I had
don't
to get
like
in my
it
head
either.
and like, you know what? Just be glad like it wasn't someone else, and like she did it in such a gentle way where I'm like, yeah, she's cool. Like I'm not mad about it anymore. I was so like,
Yeah.
that I'm just glad like I said.
Well, imagine if it was
some.
somebody else who was like some kind of asshole or something.
Yeah, they probably would have threw me like off the fucking property like on site.
them. I mean, you're not an asshole. Like you
I try
actually
not to
you
be.
actually do the work and shit. You're not there just to promote yourself, so it's like obvious. I mean, like I said, like the things tie into each other. Like
Yeah.
if you want to like make your way up the ladder of fucking shit, like it does help to know how the front of house part of the production works and be a part of it. Like there's nothing wrong with that, and there's nothing wrong with networking. It's just like there has to be rules,
Yeah.
so that people don't like feel disrespected, one, and then two, like they aren't in the position that they're in.
Yeah.
It's like
It's
so much bullshit. I'll say it right now. It's so much bullshit. I don't care who fucking listens. Fucking Pasquale, come over here. Let's hang out. I'll pour you a drink. We can listen to some records. Seriously. Though, it's like I'm not scared of any of these people. Like I work with them, Like I want to like have a good relationship. Like
yeah. No,
if they watch the Mr. Big Show, I hope they fucking laugh because this is funny, dude. Like this is fucking funny to me. I hope it's funny to you. Like the people that watch, like if 1 million people were to watch this, they wouldn't know anything more than they already do, which is the funniest fucking thing.
Yeah.
Like
No, my whole thing is like
people like you and me, genuine.
Yeah.
Like, and I think it shows. Like,
I just know one day like this is gonna be something I could laugh about when I'm like headlining an Insomniac show. I'll be like, Pasquale, let me tell you a little story about like when I used to work for you, man. And then he's be like, oh wow. I'm like, yeah.
Well, no, it's funny how this shit works out.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like I don't expect shit. I know that I want to record conversations with my friends, so at least I can watch it like in the future, because it's like this is gonna be so much fun. Like regardless of whoever fucking sees this shit, it's gonna be such a great memory.
Definitely, man.
Like, and that's what I want. Like I'm here to make some memories. Like I like back into the Psychonaut thing. I like kind of this thread of like life, that this thing that we're experiencing that we're able to perceive over time and build upon and kind of like influence in a way that other people can perceive. Like I think it's really beautiful, like how we live life.
Oh, definitely, dude.
And especially if you're a creative or a musician, it becomes even more interesting. Less limitations, Like, have you traveled a lot? Or are you? I tend to ask these same questions because I feel like they lead
questions.
to things.
Yeah.
I love to ask people their favorite color. Love to ask people if they travel. Like what they do. Like, it's kind of cool. Like to see these answers. Like, so what's up? What's up? You been around?
I've tried to. So like I think I haven't traveled very far outside of the U.S. Like I think I've only gone to Mexico and Canada.
Mexico's pretty badass.
Yeah.
There's
So
Canada.
I mean that's the big plan is because the world has
Mexico
so much to
City?
offer, man. I think the furthest I went was like Guadalajara. So yeah, not too far. Yeah, but I'm going to Cancun in January.
Nice. That's gonna be a good vacation.
Oh, definitely. Excuse me.
Summertime. You're good.
Yeah. I've only been in like a handful of states, man, but it's just, yeah, I'm trying to get traveling more out there. It's just funds right now. And like my big mission is when I start traveling, I'm going to try to like book shows. I know that's a hard thing if
Yeah.
you don't have the following, but like, yeah, man, it'd be cool to book some shows in other states.
Well, I mean, as long as you can DJ, which I know you can DJ. Like, I know you can fucking playlist and spin those decks, do some cool shit. Like, I've haven't experienced it live yet.
We'll get you
Doubtfully, will get me there.
Yeah, no pressure.
But I've definitely heard what you made, and I know how that works out. So it's like I'm excited. Really excited actually to see what happens in like this next couple of fucking months with you. But yeah, man. Traveling it's not that expensive. Like I got this book. It was called $50 a Day, Traveling Anywhere in the World, and it described this guy. He actually fucking did it. Like he lived on $50 a day.
That I can do. It's just my only issue is like my girlfriend's super bougie, and she's also my manager, and like she just has to like she has a certain standard. Like I get it. I'm not saying like it's bad. It's just like, you know,
it requires a certain level of planning and like forethought for. Yeah, it just needs some money to come in so that like the right hotels and the right places can be booked and you can have a show to play. I totally get it. Yeah, I'm just saying like expense wise, you can cut that cost to like almost zero. Like, you know, and you see it happen. Like people will fucking feed you. They'll like give you a place to stay.
At some point, I'll probably travel like that because my friend Emily that I was talking about, she over like the last 3 years or so, she did the whole. What are those little hotels? Hostels. She did the hostels over in Europe and Asia.
Nice.
Yeah, she spent a lot of time in Thailand.
Big thing. Thailand's super cheap.
She spent a lot of time in Vietnam, and then she spent a lot
also
of time
super inexpensive.
In where else did she go? Somewhere in Europe. I want to say like France maybe.
Okay.
But she was just she's always speaking very highly of these places. I'm like, I could see myself thriving in that kind of setting. So yeah, at some point it's gonna happen. So
you got to let it happen, and you know, like it's important to be able to make your own decisions as an artist too. Be like, you know, I mean, I know it's your girlfriend or whatever, but be like, hey, let's go to France and like try this. Like,
I'm sure
you know,
she'll
as
be down.
bougie as she is, I'm sure she would like to try like something anti-bougie.
Oh no, definitely.
Just if it was presented, like I'm pretty sure she just doesn't like to suffer. She likes to have a food, a shower, like she wants like these basic things, but like it's.
No, I get it. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
I'm sure if I like asked her the right way, she'd be down. But the only thing is, too, like I'm trying to like I've made the
you don't want
to
play like shitty camping festivals where it's like somebody just like, you know, like completely unlike the one you just played, like super unorganized. Like, where's the production? I had to set up my own speaker. You know, like you don't want to do that.
Yeah,
but you can like take a little bit of risk.
Oh, definitely, man.
And I think that would lead to some like fun times for you, especially since you do have a manager, because like there's someone there to think for you.
I think
like that genuinely cares.
Yeah, with anything like that kind of situation, whenever I just do some weird shit, some good always comes out of it, man. Like I've met some pretty great people through like those weird experiences. But yeah, man, I'm sure it's gonna happen sooner or later. It's just like right now, like I think within the last 2 years, I've made the transition to like young adult finally, where I'm learning how to like pay bills and like so my girlfriend who manages me, she literally just took the jump. She worked for Liquid IV, and now she's at
great company. Shout out Liquid IV.
Liquid IV is incredible.
Great concept. Yeah. Electrolytes. Key.
And funny enough, now she does HR for Insomniac.
Huh.
But
dun dun dun.
There's been a big pay cut for her. And
that shit happens. It's all.
Yeah, I know.
It's all in the fucking cards.
The thing is, like, me and her are both dedicated to this. I thought it was just a me thing, but she's just like, you know what? Like, even without you, prior to meeting you, I just always wanted to be here working for Insomniac. So, like, we're gonna make it work. And like, me and her are a team, man. We do everything for each other and for ourselves. And like, I feel like that's super important. But like, she was just, there's gonna be some times where I'm gonna need you to handle bills, and I've never been in a position before where I could do that until now. And I'm like, I can hold it down. Yeah, and it's weird because like I've never wanted to do that for someone. Like I think I had a girlfriend ask me one time where she could ask me if she borrowed a couple $100. I was like, I don't know how I feel about that, and she just got really hurt. But with her, I feel like complete trust, where I'm like, you know what, you can have $1,000 and I'm gonna feel okay with that. You know?
Yeah, some people are. Yeah, it's nice to have that connection where you can actually trust some people.
Definitely,
you know,
man, yeah.
instead of just like wondering what the fuck's gonna happen next.
Yeah, and
You
plus,
know,
like,
and I think that's like a good show of like your character too. Like, fuck, you got somebody that really cares about you in your corner.
someone here right now.
Probably my dad, like just doing wheelies on his bike.
All right, I don't know. I hear a doorbell. I don't want to leave
Oh
someone
no,
stranded
he's.
outside.
You're good. That's the doorbell. This is a compound.
Nice.
So there's several different buildings.
That's cool, man.
It's kind of an interesting situation. This is my studio, of course, my music making space. I try to travel as much as possible, you know, get my feet wet in different situations. But this is home base for several things. Like I was telling you, I work on motorcycles and cars. That's another passion of mine, and I do that with my pops. He's a pretty cool guy. Yeah, I really appreciate having family. It's good to have somebody that cares. I think that's a connection. You know, when
Definitely,
you have
bro.
people that are supporting you, that believe in what you're doing, that's number one, honestly, because you can achieve anything you want with that. Like, you have the room to both grow and fail, I think.
Damn straight, man.
And that's what you're giving your girlfriend, your partner, whatever. And I'm sure it's reciprocated.
Oh, definitely, man.
You know, and I really love that. Like, I feel like I attract people who have a community, like, and that's a good thing because it increases the amount of respect and love that can be spread
Definitely
amongst people.
Yeah.
You know, because we can only influence like what's around us. We can't, like, that's kind of what gets me a little bit miffed about like politics and all that stuff. It's like you can't really affect anything outside of your inner circle and your ability to vote within your local and, you know, larger government. But like if you're not doing any of that, it's hard to have a say in things, honestly.
Definitely, man. Like, it's a weird thing.
Like, I don't want to get political or anything.
No, I get it.
It's
It's
just
not even political. It's just like life, you know?
it honestly, at this point, it is.
Yeah, I totally feel it, because hearing that, I've heard it from a lot of people that are all about self-help. You can only adjust the outcome of your own life, and that's the realest thing you'll ever hear, man. Because regardless of whatever you're going through, whatever you're facing, you still make those decisions if you're gonna enjoy life or allow life to really fuck you up, you know. And I've never, until my 20 years old, you know, my 20s, have I realized that is such a true statement, man. When you're faced with something, you can decide if that's gonna really define who you are in that moment, or you're gonna define that moment by your actions, you know. So I get it.
Yeah, it takes a lot, you know, and it's like we talked about a lot of important things like our work, our livelihood, you know, career and stuff, family. It gets really deep when you actually fucking give a fuck. And I think people seldom have the ability to relate to people on a deep level, you know. I like to hold that space whenever I can. I think alcohol opens up your channels a little bit.
Oh, definitely, dude. I read somewhere, I think it was like one of those like quirky bar signs you see. Some like dive bar I was at said that alcohol is the lubrication for communication. I was like,
People
wow,
give me
what the
shit
fuck?
for drinking and smoking on the podcast. I'm like, there's no other way to do it.
It
Like
pulls back, man.
people
Yeah.
would feel. I think people would feel weird in here if they're sober, just trapped with me, like fucking yelling at them.
I think it pulls back the curtain on like reserves you might have for who you are, and it just
Part of hospitality.
it allows you
making you feel welcome.
to relax more. You know,
I'm gonna need a cricket.
handle that, man. Chapulines.
What was that? What'd you call it?
Chapulines, man.
Is it really that's what they're called?
I mean, that's what I've heard them called. I don't know. I'm like
Chapulines.
I'm like one of the whitest Mexicans in the world, bro.
I am the whitest Hispanic boy you'll
All right,
ever
yeah,
meet.
you're beating me to it. So I'm like a few tiers
That's
under you.
that's the only contest that I win in the Hispanic games is whitest Hispanic. Here, hold on. I'll ASMR this.
Oh yeah.
That was the head. It was an interesting thing that I heard. These are salt and vinegar crickets. Very tasty, actually.
Yeah, they're not bad. I kind of enjoyed it.
You know, bought them in Needles at the river. Here's a leg. Neil deGrasse Tyson was talking about how if an alien from another planet who was like as intelligent as us, but they were a plant, like they photosynthesized in order to create energy for themselves to live. If they visited our planet, they would think that we're all barbarians, vegetarians, vegans, humans, because we all eat things that are alive. And specifically vegans and vegetarians, they eat the reproductive organs of plants to sustain themselves, so that it's completely barbaric. Because you're killing something that's alive instead of using the energy like photosynthesis from the sun. You know, it is barbaric to kill things in order to live, as opposed to using a different source of energy. I found that like kind of fucked up. So I'm like a little incoherent in my speech, but I thought that was an interesting point to bring up, like how even vegans, the apparent supreme arbiters of like moral authority, are you know, like they're still killing things that are effectively alive, you know, as opposed to a plant.
Yeah.
Which is just funny. It's a funny thought, you know.
No one's above that. I think I've always really loved the practice that Native Americans. I'm a Native American of the Tongva tribe of the San Gabriel Valley, where I'm from.
Nice.
Yeah, and I've always loved.
That's awesome. Yeah, actually,
that's
like this local area is the Uhaviatum, and then the San Gabriel was the adjacent tribe.
Yeah, a lot of people call them Gabrielino, but like it's
there's a lot of Spanish European names.
Yeah, we don't identify as that
for indigenous people.
That's the guy who like took over. So
it's weird that how syncretism has weaseled its way into like indigenous culture, to where people think that Spanish is like something.
Yeah, it's
something
weird, man.
that isn't white, you know.
And like I've only recently tapped into this, because only recently has my fellow tribe accepted that I'm a part of it, because it's weird. You need to be like a card holder, and you need to show like proof of your lineage.
Yeah.
And my dad's father is the one who's like directly linked to them, and he passed away before he was born. So we don't really have that information. But regardless, I am of Tongva descent, and I really love the Native American belief that you have to give back to what you take. And like, you know, we eat the animals, we eat the plants, but we give back to that in the sense of like we make sure that these animals are taken care of in their life, and like they have more time to repopulate, to go forth and multiply, live their lives happily. And then with plants too, when we go forth and we plant more, you know. And I feel like that's an important thing with life. Like my girlfriend's always said it, and like she's always told me, she's like, yeah, it's my favorite thing. That she just talks in this high register, so
you're imitating her. Yeah,
she
great
thinks
great
I'm
voice.
making fun of her. Yeah, but it's just it's how she talks. She's like, I always believed in you know, leaving things in better, you know, state as they were.
You do sound funny though.
No. Yeah, and I'm like, I totally believe that shit. You know,
it's okay. No.
Yeah. Like when you leave someplace, you gotta leave an impact on it. Why not leave it like a good, you know? Like, fucking take care of the people around you, take care of the places around you. Earth is a fucking provider. We get, you know, not just psychedelics. We get our livestock. We get plants. We get everything.
Yeah,
from
it's
this
way
place.
more.
So the
It's
least
like
you can do is take care of it in like the minimal sense.
No, I totally feel that, because it's so important to give back. Like you're saying, like you're not just fucking reaping all the benefits, but you're existing as a part of the ecosystem.
Exactly, man.
I think that's important. Like you're not always just benefiting. Like you're in it.
Damn straight.
Because it could get real greedy really quick. Like and you won't even notice it until you're fucking like on your deathbed, a miser, like Ebenezer Scrooge, fucking like, oh geez, the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future are all here, and I'm about to fucking croak, and there's nothing I can do to like make up for the life that I should have lived, you know? And I think if people were just to approach it like really, like, you know, nobody's gonna believe your bullshit. Let's just say that right now. Like, if you're full of shit, everybody can tell all the time. You know, like it's too real to fucking not exist.
Oh, definitely, man.
Like, we're here, and I mean, you know, I'm all fucking whacked out, but it's like I still know what's right and wrong, which is, I think, the funny thing is that's why I like to get so fucked up, because it's like the slurs are funny. It's all funny. It's all the humor of life, you know, that we get to experience together. We're not just here in fucking like our own little world, you know.
I just like because you're talking more than me, man. Normally, I'm the one that's controlling all the conversations. It's a nice change of pace.
It's interesting. Like, I've had the chance to analyze how conversation takes place with just the few shows that I've done. People who like to talk more or less. People who have to have things drawn out of them, you know. There's people like you who are like what I would call like super on it. Like, you could just talk about anything and a conversation will spring forward. Like, this could, I have a sense that this could go on for a very long time. Like, we could just continue talking.
Yeah.
And then other people, it's kind of like they're waiting for it to be over.
Oh man.
You know, well, but they still enjoy it.
Yeah,
no,
definitely.
It's but more uncomfortable with public speaking, I think.
Yeah, it's just they don't feel comfortable with the talking part. I get it.
It is an awkward situation. I mean, like, you do have to come up with things to say, and like you're aware of the audience, like, but I think overall it's a good thing. Like, it's just an exercise in being a human. Like, you know, if you feel like you're fucking up, you're probably doing it wrong. So I've enjoyed like every single fucking minute of this show, the other shows that I've done.
I don't know if you guys can see. There's a sign here. It says, "If it's organic, don't panic." And
that's true.
This whole conversation just rolled very organically off of our tongues.
That's very true. I have to go pee right now.
Oh yeah,
so
handle business.
I'm gonna bang out. You can entertain these folks for a minute.
All right, you are tuned to the sounds of Jem.G the spaceman, here to relax your frontal earlobes. So be sure to unclench your jaw. Don't slouch. Take a deep breath with me in through the nostrils. Let it sit for a minute. And release. All the way out. Guys, I just want to let you guys know, Mr. Big here, Josh Ryan, an incredible person. I am so fortunate to know him. And if you haven't, be sure to share this on all of your social networks. He's a great guy, and I just can't wait to see this podcast and everything he does pop off. So yes, share it to a friend, share it to your family, share it to anyone that you think would just love this, and even the people that you think would don't love this, you know, they might need to hear this. So be sure to share this everywhere. Give him a follow, give him a like, whatever it is you're doing. And yeah, he's back. Wow, that was the quickest pee in history.
Had to drain the main vein.
Oh yeah, shake the snake, all the good stuff.
You know what's up. Oh, as I was in there just smelling the smell of warm exhaust and engine. It was beautiful. I felt like I was getting hugged by the 60s before they made regulations about emissions.
Very nice.
What a wonderful time. I honestly don't wish I was born at any other time. I think the 90s were good enough for me.
Yeah, I love being alive at this time, man. We have convenience at our fingertips. Life's good, man.
Little bit of wisdom, minimal wisdom, you know.
I would hate to have to live in the time where you have to like pull out a fucking map to know where you're going, because like I would be doing that constantly.
I feel like that would be fun, but it's just such a hassle. It's nice to have it the way it is now.
Exactly, man.
Like, to where you could just, like, some people, I feel like they don't really appreciate technology, or they're like cut off at a certain point. I'm like, no, there's there's a use for all of this new shit. You know, you could make your life easier or better.
I love it because you have to think back like 20 years ago. What was it? It was like the early 2000s. If you wanted a video of something, you had to have a fucking 20-pound camcorder on your shoulder. If you wanted a picture of something, you'd have to have the camera on you. But like our phones make it so easy to literally capture moments and relive
You want to know
them
what fucking time it
over
was.
and over.
Yeah, like
and like say you're too fucked up to remember this moment, your phone can keep that forever. And I love that because I hear a bunch of people saying, put your phone down, live the moment. Dude, that's what I'm doing when I'm recording this. I'm documenting this so I can live this moment.
It's kind of hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, people just want to fucking tell others what to do instead of, like, enjoy them. Like, aren't you not enjoying yourself by telling somebody else what to do with their... You know, like, it's like, well, why aren't you fucking watching? Like,
I can't tell you how many times I've relived, like, memories on my phone. Constantly,
yeah, totally.
Great ones, you know.
It's like it's literally like having a camera there, and then it's like all the films develop. Like people don't appreciate how fucking cool that is sometimes.
Exactly,
like they're always a lot of people are always looking for the negatives in life, and not seeing any of the brightness that's there just in everything. And I think that's what amounts to a lot of our problems.
Definitely, bro.
You know, without getting too fucking into it or anything. Of course, there's actual issues that need working through. Fucking, like, what's it like living down in L.A., dude, or at least next to it?
Yeah,
L.A. adjacent.
Yeah, it's funny. So Pasadena is the suburb of Los Angeles, but I live in a suburb of Pasadena, which is called Temple City. It's a little speck on the map. Not a lot of people know about it. I love it because it's in my heart. It is the crown jewel of the San Gabriel Valley. It's not too bougie. It's not too hood. It's right in the middle. It's a small community where everyone knows everyone. And also I also have family history with this town. So when I was unemployed, I would tell my family I was looking for a job. Sometimes I wouldn't feel like looking for work. I'd just go hang out in the library. I'd spend a lot of time reading just anything I could find.
Yeah.
We have these books that document the history of our town. And I looked through them. And this guy, Walter P. Temple, the founder of our town, fucking married someone from my tribe, the Tongva tribe, with the same last name as me. So I'm pretty sure we're related to this guy who founded our town.
Yeah.
And it's something cool that I could say, you know, I take pride in this place I live, not just because I grew up here, but because of what it means to me, you know. Like, this has history with my people, you know. My lineage comes from this place, and, like, not much bad happens there, and I love the small town vibe, you know. There's this dive bar we have called The Crest. Whenever I go there, I'm bound to see someone I know. I might see an elementary school science teacher there. I might see a little
someone always
there.
Says hi.
Yeah, I might see someone, you know. The possibilities are endless, and I love it. And it's such a beautiful thing. I wish more people could live like this, but I get it, you know. You have to go spread your wings and venture off. I respect that. I'm probably gonna do that at some point, but when it's time for me to start a family and, like, settle down, I'm gonna bring it back home to Temple City, California.
That's pretty cool, though. Yeah. You know, it makes me want to visit more if I haven't already been. You know, like,
you should, man.
I vaguely know the area. I think people in SoCal, they kind of, ironically enough, stick to where they're from. Like, is same as everywhere else. Like, they just stick to where they're from, even though it's so close to get to anywhere else. Like, maybe you travel somewhere to work, go to the beach, but, like, all these little places, like, honestly, just like everywhere else. And, you know, there's a certain opinion, I guess, people have of people from California. You know, I've encountered this often, like, in my travels, like, going to New York, Florida, fucking... like, just anywhere. They think we're different out here, or they just think everywhere is like LA, or, like, you know, people escape to California, like, to do things. It's like some people are from here, you know. Yeah. It's just like, honestly, just like everywhere else, like, and there might not even be that much more opportunity, honestly.
My whole thing is, like, the definitive thing of what people don't like about LA is based around people that aren't from LA.
Yeah, like, it's people who fucking moved to LA. It's a lot
of fucking transplants that are, like, setting this tone for us. Like, oh, you assholes and all you influencers. I'm like, dude, that's not us, man. That's people from like that are outside of the state that come
Yeah.
to live here, and they fuck it all up. Like, dude, I don't know if you ever seen La La Land. Have you seen it?
I honestly haven't. I'm not
When
gonna
you get the
lie.
chance, I'd recommend checking it out.
Good
So,
movie.
pretty great movie.
Okay, yeah,
The
I will
movie
then.
opens with like this scene where
I've heard various things.
So I'm just a big fan of musicals because it's just
Musicals are cool. I like
musicals are cool,
musicals
yeah.
too. West Side Story, fucking, that was my favorite movie as a kid.
It did something with the classic musical format and put it in a modern story setting, and it perfectly did it with a great marriage of visual and audio. So the movie opens with this scene where everyone's on this freeway and they're trapped in traffic, and they start singing about how no matter how terrible life gets in Los Angeles, you always get another day of sun. And I believe that, dude. No matter how terrible shit gets here, you could be in like the worst time of your life. You live in California, man. You live in Los Angeles,
Yeah.
where you're 15 minutes away from the fucking mountains, the ocean, Disneyland. You live in the music capital of the world. You live in the fashion maybe not the fashion capital of the world.
Yeah.
But
okay. Yeah.
magic can fucking happen here, man. And like, if you don't love it, that's strictly on you, man. That means you allowed your experience to be bad. There's so much great things that can happen here, bro. I can't tell you how many amazing experiences I've had. I can't tell you about the people that have come here to visit that have also experienced the same magic. So when people badmouth LA, I'm like, you're not talking to the right people, man. I'm letting you know, like, if you come here, you let me show you around. You let me show you what
I
LA
just think
is
it's
about.
so fucking funny.
Yeah, there's so much magic here, man, and I adore this place with all my heart. And I will never badmouth this place.
Yeah, no, it's fucking nice, and it's like, you got, I mean, we're in San Bernardino right now, completely different county, and honestly, just as beautiful, like, for different reasons, like, but then again, adjacent to LA, like, you're literally, I think, 40 minutes away from LA County proper.
Yeah.
And then, like, you're just fucking there. So it's like, it's different in that people want it more rural in fucking certain areas, more city-like in other areas. But I feel like the proximity, it kind of dissolves those boundaries.
Exactly.
Like, how easy was it for you to come here? Like, middle of nowhere in your mind and on the map. But then you're like, once you get here, it's a little bit maybe more than you expected.
It was, this was such a pleasant drive, man. And
it's not bad. People make it out to be bad. Like, I've heard it.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. If you get stuck in rush hour traffic, it's going to be miserable. But the only thing I can really compare this to is, like, I went to Florida for Ultra 2 years ago, and my girlfriend surprised me with a trip to Disney World for my birthday. So we drove up from Miami to Orlando. That was a 5-hour drive. That was all rural. But, like, you got to think about it, man. We have an hour drive to go from the heart of Los Angeles to, like, the most beautiful countryside, and, like, it all exists here, man. And I get it. If, like, you're not used to that kind of thing, it's easy to perceive it as something that social media has put out as, like, this super bougie upscale place. But Los Angeles is truly a place of magic, man. If you listeners, viewers, if you're out there and you've not experienced this place, come down here, shoot me a DM. I will fucking take you to the places that touch my heart, and I know you will.
Jem.G the spaceman, pro tour guide.
That's what I do, man.
I think that's a big part of it, honestly, offering people an experience like that only you can offer. And I think you have that uniqueness about you. And fuck, man, I'm just so happy. I'm so glad that you fucking came up.
Me too,
and,
man.
Like, we've been talking and we've gone through all this shit. I honestly feel like we could just keep this going forever and ever, but maybe for the sake of the viewers and another podcast soon in the future, we should cut it short and continue having fun.
Let's wrap
as
this thing
people
up.
Because now you got me excited to hang out with you.
Thanks, man.
Honestly. And I want to get to that. I'm sorry, viewers, I'm stealing him away. He's going to show me LA right now. No, I'm kidding. But it's been a wonderful Mr. Big Show. I thank you. Is there any social media shout outs or anything you want to give out at the end of the show? I know you did some in the middle, and I'll put them below the video. Anything else that you can remember? Anything else that interests you?
Let's see.
It's okay to not have anything, too.
I'm sure I do. I just can't think of it right now. Let me vibe on it for a quick second.
I say fuck it. We finished this whole bottle of Jaeger. How did that?
Did.
Oh,
Goddamn.
Hold on.
If you guys haven't followed me, check me out from previous tags. I have a music video out. I feel like everyone really liked that. Ride or Die featuring Alice Weber. It's out on YouTube right now. And then I also have a single out with a cat. It is called Stir Crazy.
Stir Crazy. Check
Quote,
it out.
unquote,
Fucking fire song.
The official post-COVID anthem. So I think you guys like that.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
so if you haven't, be sure to follow me on all socials at Jem.G the Spaceman. That's at Jem.G the Spaceman. I want you to know I say keep it cosmic, and it means one thing: to do all that you do with love. So go out there, make sure you're making the corazon happy, make sure you're touching others' lives, and I love you. Peace be with you all. I speak health, I speak life, I speak joy over everything you guys do.
I
Take me away,
believe it.
Josh.
Blessings. Motherfucker!